All right, welcome to the bright side once again. I want to continue our discussion on communication skills. That's what we're talking about, is communication skills. Everything communicates. I'm communicating to you right now. Chances are you exercised some communication skills earlier today. In order for different entities, animals, humans, ants, birds, bugs, animals, whatever, in order for individual beings to be able to integrate with each other, to do work, to get things done, communication, the ability to transmit information from one being to another being, is critical. The famous story in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, of the Tower of Babel, highlights what can happen when people don't communicate. No communication, no building. No communication, no towers. And the body, which is made up of many, many trillions of independent beings, we call these little independent beings, these animal-like entities, cells. The body's made up of 75, 100 trillion of these little entities. In order for the body to operate coherently as a whole, these little entities that make up the body have to be able to communicate. And for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about how these little critters, these cells, communicate, or how these little cells talk to each other. Our bodies, while they may look to, in terms of appearances, they may look like one homogeneous mass. Our bodies are really made up of countless little animals, little critters, little cells. 100 trillion is a ridiculously high number, and somehow the body is put together of these 100 trillion cells that are integrated with each other, these little microscopic entities, and in some mysterious, unknown fashion, these little animals have gotten together to create us, to create the human body. Is all of this important when it comes to health, when it comes to wellness, or when it comes to degenerative disease? You better believe it is. It is fundamentally important. The composite nature of our bodies is really behind all degenerative disease. Understanding the composite nature of the body is a must if we're going to be able to reverse degenerative disease. Understanding our composite nature reveals the path to our health. There's no such thing as a degenerative disease that doesn't start off at the level of these little animals, these little critters called cells. All disease is cell disease. You're not going to hear this from your doctor, because doctoring can't do anything at the level of a cell except perhaps to poison it. There's no such thing as healing. There's no such thing as true health without addressing the health of these little animals, these little critters, these cells. All disease is cell disease. All health is cell health. And this is where medicine is completely useless. And this is why medicine is a failure, at least when it comes to taking care of our degenerative diseases. The more doctors we have, the more degenerative diseases we get. Seemingly, got plenty of doctors. There's no shortage in medical professionals, but we're sicker than ever before. The nature of disease as cell disease is the underlying factor underneath the medical model's complete and utter failure, complete and utter impotence when it comes to dealing with degenerative disease. Medicine is oblivious to the nature of a cell, and this is why it's useless when it comes to healing. This is why medical professionals say things like, well, we really don't know what causes autoimmune disease. Well, we don't know what causes cancer. Or sorry, Mr. Smith, you're going to be on this anti-cholesterol medication for the rest of your life. This is why your doctor thinks that lowering your cholesterol is somehow going to prevent heart attacks, because your doctor is not addressing a heart cell. Now, to be completely accurate, it's not that medicine is completely ignoring the cell. It's just that the cell is not honored. The cell is not respected. There are medical strategies that address the cell, except when they do focus on the cell, when they focus cellularly, they're poisoning it. They're drugging it. They're poisoning the cell. They're drugging the cell. They're forcing the cell to comply. There's absolutely nothing in modern medicine's toolkit to correct a cell's activity or to nourish a cell, or in some fashion to improve a cell's healthy function. There's nothing in modern medicine's toolkit that can be kind and gentle and loving and respectful to a cell. This is because a cell is only going to accept nutrition, and it's only going to accept oxygen. That's it. Nutrients and oxygen, period. We call them the mighty 90 essential nutrients. And the job of the mighty 90 essential nutrients is to sustain, to feed, to nourish a cell. The job of oxygen, likewise, to energize a cell. And guess what? Nutrition and oxygenation are not components of the medical model. They're not in your doctor's toolkit. But it doesn't matter. We don't need a doctor for oxygenation. We don't need a doctor for nutrition. I talked to my friend Lou last week. Lou's a medical doctor, healer, if you will. And Lou, ironically, or maybe not ironically, Lou has health problems. He's had health problems most of his life. Yes, he's a medical doctor. Yes, he's a healer. Yes, he's helping people with their health. But Lou is sick. Lou's had health problems most of his life. Specifically, Lou has a history of diabetes, and he has a history of colon problems. And guess what? Now Lou is dealing with one of the worst things that can ever happen to a human being. I'll tell you what I mean when I come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. 877-300-7645 is our number. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away. Okay, so I was talking to my friend Lou over the weekend. Lou's a medical doctor, and he's been sick most of his life, ironically, or not so ironically. He's had health problems, diabetes, he's got colon problems. Now he's dealing with one of the worst things that can happen to anyone, really, and when it comes to health issues, especially if we're older, and that's heart arrhythmias, so-called AFib, atrial fibrillation. And if you're watching TV, you'll see commercials all the time for drugs for AFib, atrial fibrillation. This is a condition where the cells of the heart are so sick, the cells of the heart, notice I'm saying cells of the heart, not the heart, the cells of the heart are so toxic and so starved and so suffocated that the heart tissue starts to break down and fibers start to be secreted to fill up the degraded heart tissue, and eventually electrical energy can't flow through the heart correctly. The heart is pumping via the coherent flow of electrical energy between the fibrosis and the holes in the heart, degraded heart tissue. You get this disorganized flow of energy. Energy can't flow through heart tissue effectively. This triggers this chaotic surge of electrical activity. It shows up as incoherent rhythms in the upper part of the heart, the so-called atrium. That's the upper part of the heart, the cells of the atrium more specifically. Fibrillation means that the fibers are quivering. To fibrillate is a word that means the quivering of the fibers. Atrial fibrillation means fibers are quivering. Basically, you got excess fibers, you got degraded heart tissue, you got sick cells. If you have AFib, you got sick cells, sick heart cells, period. What does that mean? That means cells aren't getting their mighty 90 essential nutrients. That means cells aren't getting oxygen. That means cells are accumulating toxicity at the level of a cell. AFib is a heart cell issue. Listen up, folks. People, if you're being medicated or drugged because of a heart arrhythmia, all disease is cell disease, and cardiac problems are no different. All disease is cell disease. And if we don't recognize this fundamental fact of degeneration, this fundamental fact of degenerative tissue or degenerative organ disease, heart disease, arrhythmias, if we don't recognize that all disease is cell disease, we're going to be drugged, we're going to be radiated, we're going to be carved up like a Thanksgiving turkey by a medical model that is completely helpless, clueless at the level of a cell. All disease is cell disease, and AFib is the end result of heart cell disease, period. And if you understand this, and it doesn't seem like a difficult proposition to understand, you're going to understand more than your cardiologist. But if we don't understand the cellular nature of the body and the cell's relationship as to the cell's relationship as the key components of organs and tissues of the heart, of any other organ and tissue, we're not going to make the link between the cell and disease or between the cell and atrial fibrillation. If we don't see sick heart cells underneath the fibrillation, we're not going to know what to do. If you try to treat the heart itself, the organ called the heart, without understanding the sick cells underneath, we're going to be compelled to use drugs to poison the heart. This is how a cardiologist treats heart rhythm problems. He uses drugs and pharmacology to poison the heart. And I'm not being metaphorical here. This is not a metaphor. When I say poison the heart, I mean literally poison the heart. Beta blockers poison the heart. Calcium channel blockers poison the heart. Digoxin poisons the heart. Blood thinners poison the heart. All of these are drug treatments for dealing with heart diseases, including arrhythmias and AFib. Poisons kill the heart. This is how the medical model works. It uses cardiotoxicity. It uses elements that are toxic to the heart, that are poisonous to the heart. Heart disease pharmacology is an iconic example. It's the quintessential example of the utter helplessness, the ignorance of modern medicine. It poisons the heart to make the heart better. Does anybody think this is okay? It poisons the heart to make the heart better. What normal human being of normal intelligence could possibly think it's a good idea to kill, to poison the most important structure in the body. The heart pumps billions of times in a lifetime. It is the hardest working structure in the body. How dare somebody who has taken the Hippocratic Oath, swearing to honor the body, how dare he poison the heart to make it better? The heart, which is exquisitely fine-tuned to conduct electrical energy in this amazing rhythmic pattern, that under normal conditions is going to beat billions, 2 billion times in a lifetime with no special care required. Nothing more than oxygen detox and the mighty 90 essential nutrients. How dare somebody who is sworn to take care of the body poison the heart to make it better? Oh, it gets better than that, folks. If the drugs don't work, doctors will actually shoot electricity in the heart to burn it. Yeah, if the pharmacology is not enough, they're going to cauterize your heart. They'll burn it. They'll electrically kill the heart. They'll actually open up your chest cavity in an open heart surgical procedure. Or if you have a more civilized doctor, more humane doctor, they'll run a catheter into your heart through your leg, and then they'll shoot an electrical current through the catheter into your heart to ablate it. They call it ablation, A-B-L-A-T. Ablate means to destroy. It's a euphemism. Presumably, if your cardiologist said he's going to destroy your heart, you'd probably run out of the doctor's office so fast you wouldn't even pay your bill. So he has to tell you, we're going to ablate the heart. We're going to do a cardiac ablation. Make no mistake about it. Ablation is destruction. A cardiac ablation procedure is a destruction procedure, literally killing the heart. This is how low medicine and doctoring have stooped. Not satisfied with butchering a body, ripping out its organs, not satisfied with poisoning the body with chemicals in the name of health. It literally destroys the heart to supposedly make it healthy. But how can it be healthy if it's dead? How can you ablate and destroy a heart and kill a heart to make it better? So if your cardiologist is suggesting an ablation, if he's recommending killing part of your heart to restore its health in the name of good health, ask him point blank, how can my heart be fully healthy if it's partially dead? Ask your cardiologist, see what he says. Heart disease, arrhythmias, heart attacks, MIs, myocardial infarction, angina. These are all examples of cell disease, hard cell disease, and medicine is helpless at the level of a cell. But guess what? No one needs a doctor to deal with cell disease. That means no one needs a doctor to deal with degenerative disease. This is a meme, a belief system, a mind virus that says that if we have a degenerative disease, we go to the doctor, that the doctor is our savior. No one needs a doctor to deal with degenerative disease. No one needs a doctor to deal with heart disease. We don't need a heart association. We don't need cardiology, period. Unless there's some kind of trauma, some kind of dramatic injury to the heart or heart emergency. Yes, surgery has its place if you have an emergency, but in terms of just regular day-to-day medicine, we can take care of our heart ourselves. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. 877-300-7645 is our number. Back on The Bright Side from, let's see, reading here from, what journal is this from? Link found between cell death and inflammatory disease. This is an article, I can't see where it was published in, but it's provided by the Walter and Eliza Hall Institute of Medical Research. I can't see where the journal is that this is from. Link between cell death and inflammatory disease. Inflammatory disease is associated with dead and dying cells. And by the way, this includes skin inflammatory diseases like psoriasis. That means all disease is cell disease. Cell death, sick cells, cell starve, cell suffocating. This is the link between all degenerative diseases. And it doesn't matter where the degenerative disease is. Whether it's in the heart or whether it's in the bone or whether it's in the skin, wherever you're dealing with sick cells. That should be good news. That should be great news because it means we can handle our own health business. The doctor's got to drug our heart. The doctor's got to drug our body. The doctor's got to do surgery on the body. The doctor has to remove things out of the body. But if we want to handle our business ourselves, it doesn't take a doctor. It doesn't take surgery. It doesn't take prescription drugs. We can take care of our heart ourselves. We can take care of our bodies ourselves. If you're dealing with AFib, if you're dealing with atrial fibrillation, first of all, breathe. Oxygenation is the ultimate nutrient. Oxygen is the ultimate nutrient. Vitamin O, breathe in energizing oxygen and blowing off carbon dioxide in the exhalation. They're both important, the inhalation and the exhalation. In fact, when you're doing your deep breathing, you really only want to focus on the exhalation, and you want to let the inhalation part of the breathing cycle take care of itself. Focus on the exhalation. Focus on getting rid of all the carbon dioxide, and you'll also, by the way, be getting rid of acids, and you'll be getting rid of toxins. You'll be detoxifying. And the relaxation response is triggered by exhalation, not by inhalation. Inhale, let the body inhale on its own. Let the air just come on into the through the nose on its own, and focus on the exhalation. Step number 1 for dealing with AFib. You can also use other relaxation techniques, hot baths, meditation, yoga. And don't underestimate meditation either. That's not airy-fairy. That's not some Boulder, Colorado New Age talk. Meditation is powerful, powerful medicine. All you got to do is get on scholar.google.com or PubMed.com and look for meditation and degenerative disease, or meditation and anti-aging, or meditation and health, or meditation and any other health challenge you want to think of. Yoga, spirituality, anything you do to relax the body. Step number 1 for all health crises, including arrhythmias, including AFib. Exercise. Move the lymphatic system. Get a rebounder. You don't need a lot of exercise. You don't need a membership at the gym. You don't need to go to Bally's every day. You just get a rebounder, or walk up and down the stairs, or spend 5 or 10 minutes in the gym. Just enough exercise to keep things moving. If you want to be a bodybuilder, you want to be all muscular, and you want to be ripped, that's different. But just to take care of your heart, or just to take care of degenerative disease, or just to help the body oxygenate itself, you don't need a lot of exercise. Walking up and down the stairs, taking a brisk walk, whatever you can do to move the lymphatic fluids and move the circulatory fluids, you'll be generating electrical energy. Fluid dynamics, it's called. If you're a physicist, you call it fluid dynamics. If you're a biologist, you can call it hemodynamics. That's the movement of fluids, the movement of blood. It's plumbing. In essence, health is about plumbing. If you can understand your toilet, you can understand your body. You can understand the health of your body anyway. It's plumbing, it's movement of fluids. So exercise, getting on a rebounder. In addition to oxygenating, when we breathe, we also move fluids around the body, especially lymphatic fluids. Keep sugar intake down. If you're dealing with an arrhythmia, there's a major link between heart disease and sugar, and a heart disease and sugar metabolizing hormones, specifically insulin. Use more protein, more good fat. This is all for arrhythmias. More good fat, more coconut oil. And essential fatty acids, of course, omega-3s and omega-6s, all unbelievably important for the heart. Your ultimate EFAs, and of course your Mighty 90 essential nutrients are incredibly important too. The B vitamins are anti-arrhythmia medicine. High doses of the B vitamins. B12 injections. I got a B12 injection this Friday. Felt great, unbelievable. Actually, I got a whole B cocktail injection plus B12. The B vitamins are the best heart medicine there is, heart rhythm medicine there is. Vitamin C, unspeakably important for the heart. And by the way, the B vitamins and vitamin C are depleted by sugar. Magnesium, also depleted by sugar and also important for the heart. Zinc, same thing. Depleted by sugar, also important for the heart. Vitamin A and selenium, key heart nutrients. Carnitine, unbelievably important for the heart, especially if you're dealing with arrhythmias. Use acetyl L-carnitine, 100 to 200 milligrams a day. Also the amino acids taurine and arginine, 100 to 200 milligrams a day. Arginine or taurine, of taurine, and then arginine maybe 500 milligrams a day. And don't forget your coenzyme Q10. Look for the oil-soluble version. These are all wonderful strategies. Don't involve doctors. You don't need a doctor to get your coenzyme Q10. You don't need a doctor to breathe. You don't need a doctor to get your Mighty 90 essential nutrients. And by the way, fasting is one of the best things you could do for all cardiovascular health issues. There's so many more things you could do. I wanted to talk about these gasotransmitters as well. And by the way, there's a very important link between hormone health and arrhythmias, especially when it comes to the gas hormone that we're going to be talking about here tomorrow. Arrhythmias and heart problems and gas transmitters go hand in hand, or at least the relationship between gas transmitters, and we talked about carbon monoxide last week, the relationship between carbon monoxide and the heart. These other two gas transmitters, gas hormones, if you will, also play a very important role when it comes to cardiovascular health. We'll talk about that tomorrow. On the bright side, got a full board of calls. 877-300-7645 is our number. And I think we'll hit our phones and we'll leave our gas transmitter talk for tomorrow. We'll talk about We'll talk about these gas hormones and how they relate to the heart, how they relate to degenerative disease in general. That'll be tomorrow. On the bright side, time to hit our phones. Let's go to Harold in California. What's going on, my friend? Welcome to the bright side.
Good morning, Ben.
Good morning.
As I said when I saw you for the first time, but known you for almost 17 years.
Oh, you're Harold from Santa Cruz.
And we're mighty high on you, even though you're a mile higher than we are.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Here, I have a friend that I spoke to about 10 last night, and he told me that he's had a nosebleed for half a day, and he couldn't stop it, and he was planning to go get his second cauterized vein in his nose shut off. Is there? What can we do besides?
Well, here's the deal: the blood vessels in the nose. When the blood vessels in the nose get weak, blood leaks, and that's a nosebleed. You want to think of weak blood vessels. Blood vessels. The strength of blood vessels is maintained by a protein called collagen, among other proteins, but collagen is the main protein. So what you want to think about if you're dealing with nosebleeds is that your body's starting to break down. The collagen is starting to break down, and if it's breaking down in the blood vessels in the nose, it's breaking down in the blood vessels in other parts of the body too. And it's breaking down in the bone, and it's breaking down in the digestive system, and generally the body is 50% connective tissue. And nosebleeds are a sign that the connective tissue is starting to break down. That means 50% of his body is starting to break down. It's a major sign of accelerated aging. It's a major sign of degeneration. So what do we do for nosebleeds? Number one, first and foremost, we got to build the connective tissue back up again. The chief, most important nutrient for building connective tissue is plain old vitamin C. And don't underestimate the importance. It doesn't sound sexy. It doesn't sound high tech. But you can't build connective tissue without vitamin C. Nosebleeds are a sign that the connective tissue is not being built up. Now, it may be that he's not getting enough vitamin C, and that's understandable considering the ridiculous deprivation allowance. The RDA for vitamin C is a pathetic, a sick and sad 50 or 60 milligrams a day. You need grams of vitamin C. So step number one, Harold, get your friend on some vitamin C. 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams a day. There's lots more you can do, so hang tight. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. If you're on hold, stay there. We'll get to you as well at 877-300-7645. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben, talking to Harold in California. So here's the deal, Harold. Nosebleeds are a sign that the blood vessels in the nose are starting to break down. That usually involves connective tissue. The connective tissue is what gives the blood vessels their integrity and strength. If the connective tissue is breaking down in the blood vessels, it's breaking down in the nose, it's breaking down everywhere. Blood vessels in the body, bone is also connective tissue. The stuff that holds the body in place basically is connective tissue. So we want connective tissue building strategies. And by the way, once you start doing these, the whole body is going to start to get stronger, not just the blood vessels.
Amen.
So number one, vitamin C, and if he's using a multiple vitamin to get his vitamin C, he's going to be way undernourished or way underdosing himself. So you need about 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams a day. Of course, the Beyond Tangerine is a great source of vitamin C. Magnesium is very important for connective tissue. Zinc is also very important for building connective tissue. And of course, connective tissue is mostly made up of protein. So using protein is also going to be important. The glucogel caps contain the amino acids specific for building collagen. You may want to use the glucogel caps. Bone soup is a great way to get the amino acids for building collagen, and whey protein is also a good strategy for helping build collagen, build connective tissue. Vitamin A, also important. If he has any digestive problems, those need to be corrected as well. Using apple cider vinegar and digestive enzymes after all his meals, especially high protein meals, would also be helpful for helping him access the nutrients that are important for building collagen. And then, as I said earlier, vitamin C. So vitamin C, protein, magnesium, zinc, and also vitamin A, and then correcting digestive issues. Thanks so much for your call, Harold. Anything else?
Besides the BTT, what other longevities would offer
Slender FX,
vitamin C?
Vitamin C. Immortalium's got some vitamin C in there. Pretty much vitamin C. The Ultimate Daily, the multiple vitamin, that's got vitamin C in there as well. But the Beyond Tangerine, that's going to be your best source because it's liquid and there's super high doses of vitamin C in there as well. So if you want to use longevity products, use the Ultimate EFAs. And I forgot to mention, essential fatty acids are also very important for building connective tissue. So the Healthy Start Pack in general, you might want to throw in the Ultimate Daily. and then also digestive enzymes and the probiotics to help support digestive health. Because if the digestive system's not working, none of the supplements are going to be working maximally either if you're not absorbing. So you've got to work on digestive health. And by the way, the digestive system also depends on connective tissue. So building up connective tissue for the nose or for the bone will also, or for blood vessels in the nose or for blood vessels in the body or for bone will also help the digestive system. Okay, got to move on, Harold. Thanks so much, and thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it, my friend.
Well, thank you. Kind.
God bless. Take care. Okay, let's go to Dianne. Long time no talk to. Dianne, what's going on?
Hi, Ben. How are you today?
I'm doing good. What's cooking?
Dr. Sherry Rogers recommends R-alpha lipoic acid.
Okay.
Can you explain the difference between that
R
and the regular?
I don't know. Yeah, R and L refer to think of your hands, right? Your left hand and your right hand are both equivalent. They both look exactly the same, except you can't put a left-handed glove on your right hand and you can't put a right-handed glove on your left hand. So they're the same, but they're different. You know what I mean? Your right hand and your left hand are the same, but they're different. In fact, they call them mirror images. So while they're the same, you can't put a left-handed glove on your right hand and vice versa because they're mirror images. Likewise, chemicals come as mirror images. So L-lipoic acid and R-lipoic acid are both lipoic acid, but they're mirror images of each other. So they're the same, but they're different. I'll tell you how that relates to health here in a second, but does that make sense so far? They're the same, but they're different. Okay? Yeah. Now, in the body, when it comes to nutrients, the body can either use the right-hand version or the left-hand version of specific chemicals. So what Sherry Rogers is talking about is the fact that the body uses the right-hand version of alpha-lipoic acid, not the left-hand version of alpha-lipoic acid. Make sense so far?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Are you sure? It didn't sound like it made sense. Okay, so only uses the right hand, not the left hand. If you buy lipoic acid, alpha-lipoic acid at the health food store or wherever you buy it, you're going to get a blend. You're typically going to get a combination of the R form and the L form, but the body can only use the R form. You follow me? So you're going to waste your money. You're going to be some of it is not going to be usable. So what Sherry Rogers is talking about is just using the R form. The R form is much more potent for the body. It's much more effective for the body, and you'll get more bang for your buck. It's not like the L form's toxic or is a problem. It's that the R form is the kind that the body uses. Okay, does that make sense? Okay.
Yes, it does.
So that's why she's saying use R-lipoic acid. But it's not, it's kind of equivalent. If you want to be absolutely perfect with everything, then she's probably right. But for most people, they're not getting any lipoic acid, so whatever you get is going to be advantageous to you. Okay? Okay, good. Thank you so much, Diane. Nice to talk to you again. God bless. Okay, have a beautiful day. All right, let's go to Dale in Nebraska. What's up, Dale? How you doing, buddy?
Great. How are you? First of all, I want to say hello from our mutual friend, Andy Anderson.
Oh, nice. I'm having a hard time hearing you, though, Dale. I heard you say Andy, and I just talked to Andy this weekend. We were hanging out in California this weekend, so yeah, that's awesome. But I'm having a hard time hearing you. We got some kind of... Are you on a speaker?
Yes, I am. I'm going to get off from it here shortly.
The speaker. Yeah, get off it so I could hear you, because I can't understand what you're saying, Dale. Dale?
Okay, this should be better.
Oh, yeah, there we go. What's going on?
I have a friend who has prion's disease, Prions. He says his doctor tells him it's a protein in the blood, and it comes from mad cow disease.
Not quite.
He's also told it's incurable.
Well, a prion is a critter. A prion is a thing that lives. That's not whenever we talk about living entities, we usually talk about cells. However, prions and viruses, for that matter, are living entities that don't have cells. They're non-cellular living entities. They're just basically little pieces of protein, and they get into the body, sometimes through meat. So, in fact, that's one of the most important parts. And once they're in the body, they're very difficult to get out of the body. However, the strategy for dealing with prions and other non-cellular life forms like viruses is to build your immune system, to strengthen the immune system. This is why doctors are nonplussed and confused when it comes to dealing with prions, because they don't deal with supporting the health of the body. They deal with killing things, and you can't really kill prions. So what you do is you strengthen the body's immune system. Let the body handle the prions. How do you strengthen the immune system? All the things we talk about on this program. Number one, keeping your intake of toxic food low or at zero tolerance, especially sugar. Sugar is a powerful immune suppressing substance, and keeping your sugar intake down is very, very important. Making sure you're using the Mighty 90 essential nutrients, especially vitamin C, which is a mega powerful immune boosting nutrient. Zinc is also very important for building the immune system, and so is vitamin A. And by the way, selenium. So selenium, zinc, vitamin A, and vitamin C. These are also all very important for building the immune system, and that can help you with your prions. Making sure you're supporting digestive health, keeping the entrance of other toxins into the body down low, building and supporting the strength of the digestive system, the wall, if you will, the intestinal lining. Lots of ways to do that. The Z radical, the fucoidan Z, is a great strategy for building the digestive lining, and interestingly, the Z radical and the fucoidan Z are also very important for building the immune system. Don't underestimate the importance of probiotics when it comes to building the immune system. Good bacteria, the biolumin nightly essence, fermented foods, sauerkraut, miso, these are all wonderful strategies for building the immune system. So what you want to do for prions or viruses for that matter, or anything, any kind of toxins that get into the body, is support the immune system by, number one, eliminating the entrance of sugar and other toxins by building the digestive system, and then using your Mighty 90 essential nutrients, especially vitamin C, zinc, 50 milligrams a day of zinc picolinate, vitamin A, 20,000 IU a day of vitamin A, and then vitamin C, 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C, and then selenium, 400 or so micrograms of selenium. Very important for building the immune system. And
now that's all included in the Mighty 90, right?
No, the selenium you'll have to get a little extra. Get the ultimate selenium. Yeah, get the ultimate selenium and the biolumin nightly essence and the Z radical you'll have to get extra, and then throw in the Healthy Star Pack for your Mighty 90. And I'm gonna let you go, Dale, because I want to get to a couple more calls. Okay, buddy?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
You. God bless. Have a beautiful day.
Bye-bye.
All right, my friend Carl, the Truth Raider. What's going on, Truth Raider? Got about a minute.
Benjamin.
You got to
Good
go
morning.
Quickly, Truth Raider. What's up, my friend?
Rhonda has a success story in the making, and don't go to McDevil's, folks.
McDevil's. I like that. What happened with Rhonda? Can you maybe call? Can you call back tomorrow, or you want to? What's going on?
Well, it's in the making with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. She's starting to get some effects with some family members.
Very nice, very nice. Rhonda, for the listeners, Rhonda is somebody I met with Carl when I did a talk for Carl, the Truth Raider, in Portland, Oregon. I hope I get to see you, Carl, here in January. We're coming up to January real quick. But for the listeners, I did a talk for Carl in November or October, and or maybe it was September, actually. And we met Rhonda and hooked Rhonda up with some Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Apparently, she's having some good results. Thank you for sharing that, Truth Raider. Appreciate it. And that's all the time we have for today. God bless everybody. Thank you so much for listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back at you tomorrow. We'll talk about a gas transmitter that's got some really interesting properties when it comes to cardiovascular health. A stinky gas transmitter, a stinky hormone. We'll tell you what that is tomorrow on The Bright Side. Thanks for listening, folks. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have a wonderful, spectacular, beautiful day. We will talk to you all later. Bye for now.